Hi, good evening students. This is Sumit Kundu, the physics expert and a master teacher at Vedantu. And today we shall be discussing about some of the preparation strategies for your examination, alright, that is the NEET entrance examination, which is to be scheduled in the month of May. Right, students? Now here, all of you, as you would be busy with your board examinations now, but still wondering, what are the best techniques and what are the best strategies which can be adopted in order to crack the examination, the medical entrance examination called NEET, students? Now you must be wondering for sure, right? What is the difference? Mostly people say JEE Mains and NEET, they are basically of the same level, as in the style of preparation should be the same. However, though the syllabus is same, my dear students, but then the techniques and the style of preparations definitely are different, alright? Primarily because of the fact that you already must be knowing that JEE has got 30 questions, alright? And in physics, if I am talking about, and here in NEET we have got 45 questions, alright? And tackling those 45 questions in a stipulated time period does require a lot of time management and resource management at your end. Alright, students? Now, what do I mean? You have to do some kind of a smart work if you have to score really high in your physics section of NEET. And let me tell you, a lot of students come to me and ask me, sir, what is the key? Because the dreaded part in the preparation of NEET, I know that all of you agree that physics is the most dreaded part in your NEET. Fine. So one such technique and strategy could be knowing in advance what is the importance level of the different topics in physics so that I can prioritize and give stress on those topics over the others. Alright, so that would basically help me in sorting out what is the part which is more important to the part which maybe I can skip during the last minute, or the section which is going to be more scoring for me in the examination. So students, are you ready? Let's get started out here. Alright, chalo, let us move on. That's the examination thing, that's your NEET. Alright, let us look at the first section itself. Alright, in the first section itself, we are trying to analyze here what is the marks distribution, my dear students, of the different subjects that are basically going to be there for the 11th standard versus the 12th standard, which we are going to see in the next slide. Alright, so here in this slide you can see, if the different subjects are there, physics for the 11th, 22%, chemistry even lesser, 18%, zoology, botany, alright, they are holding the major chunk. Definitely the number of questions are more out there. Alright, in physics, my dear students, if you observe, there are 19 questions which totals up to marks of 76, that is from the 11th standard. Now students, moving ahead, I am also going to show you exactly which are the topics, alright, and the marks distribution in physics which has got priority over the others, right? Now let us look at, after we have seen, what did we see? There were 19 questions in physics from the 11th standard. Now what is the weightage for the 12th standard? Let's have a close look. Now for the 12th standard, if you see, there are 26 questions versus 19 questions in 11th. So I can clearly see, alright, which is a good news if you observe, which I can clearly see the weightage of the 12th standard syllabus, my dear students, is greater, alright, than the 11th standard. And why is it a good thing, my dear students? Because now, as you might be preparing for your board examinations, the key concepts you will definitely already be having in your grip. Alright, so the moment the board exams are going to get over, what are you supposed to do? Start the revision of the 11th section. Alright, study for the boards in such a way, keeping in mind that you're actually studying for the NEET entrance examination, the formulas, the topics, the stress that you need to give on. So in a way, you are working for a dual purpose out here. and that really helps to a lot of students who have scored in the past with very high ranks in the NEET examination. All right, students? Fine. Now, I would actually like, beg to differ, because I was just imagining all the 12th standard students out here. I'm really sorry for that. So all of you are basically the 11th standard students out here, my dear students. So for the 11th standard students, definitely it's not the boards which is a concern. You're already having your 11th standard getting over. So what should be your mindset, or how you should be looking at the entire thing? All right. See, technically 11th standard weightage is less. So now whatever you have finished in your 11th, just wrap it up and look forward for your 12th standard, all right, which has got a greater weightage. All right. There are certain students, even when the 12th standard has started in their school or college, they would be doing problems from the 11th standard. So I would suggest probably you should focus more on the 12th standard as compared to the 11th standard, because you can clearly see the weightage is more, that is of 26 questions versus the 19 questions which were actually there from the 11th. All right, students? Fine. Let's move ahead and let us see for the different topics that we actually have, all right, in physics, which has got a greater weightage as compared to the others, right? Now here I can clearly see mechanics. That has got the most weightage out here. All right. If you can see here, there is 50 marks. All right. 50 marks, my dear students, is not a matter of joke when you're preparing for a competitive examination. That is the huge chunk. All right. And I am going to tell you exactly, that's mechanics is pretty wide and huge. All right. So how is the distribution of the marks in the different chapters of mechanics? Even that is something that I'm going to share with you people. That is going to give you a very nice insight. Okay. So first thing, 50 marks, that is approximately 30% of the paper, or let's say somewhere around 28, 29, 30% of the paper is your mechanics, that is your 11th standard. So out of those 19 questions that you actually saw, okay, 80% is basically mechanics questions. So you know right now that if we have to do our 11th standard well, which is the part we need to focus on more? It is basically from your units, measurements, till the study of rotational motion, fluid mechanics. All right, that comprises of 30% of the entire syllabus, or the entire number of questions in your NEET. All right. Now, students, what is the next most important thing? The next most important thing is your electrodynamics, which you are about to start in the 12th standard. Okay. Now, in electrodynamics, again, if you observe, it's 40 marks, which is pretty close to the number of questions in mechanics, and that is almost, if you see, it is 25%. Okay, and that is also a huge thing. All right, so now you know, if you have to score very high, which are the two important topics in physics? It is mechanics and electrodynamics. And definitely, yes, we have our heat and thermodynamics out here. All right, now in heat and thermodynamics, we have typically got somewhere around 5 questions. All right, so chapter wise also I'm going to tell you. So 5 questions, again, it is important. I mean, with less investment, and the nature of the questions are very easy. Okay, with a little less investment of time, you can get all the 5 questions correct. All right, that is a very good news. Okay, next comes your optics. All right, that is typically got 20 marks, and in optics I have also included modern physics here, and SHM and waves, that is another, let's say 8 marks. So that's typically 2 questions. So this is the order of the importance that we can see for the different topics in physics, my dear students. Now let us go and check that in mechanics, which are the topics which are more important as compared to the others. All right, so in mechanics, typically we see that there are 13 questions. All right, 13 questions, total marks of 52, which is a very high number. All right, weightage approximately 29%. That's what we have already discussed. Now let us look at the different topics. This is like, a very good analysis from previous year's papers. Circular motion, typically one question. Elasticity, one question. Fluid mechanics, typically 1 or 2 questions. Newton's law of motion, 1 question. Rectilinear motion, 1. Relative motion, 1 questions. Unit and dimensions, 1 questions. And work, energy and power, 1 questions. However, the weightage for 2 different chapters is much higher as compared to the others, and it has been seen regularly, like every year this is happening. What are those 2 topics? One is gravitation, and definitely one is your rigid body dynamics. All right, students, even in your rigid body dynamics, I can exactly tell you, like, which are the subtopics which are like more important as compared to the others. Like, there is one question which is definitely going to come on your moment of inertia. All right, wherein we will have some arrangement, some kind of an arrangement, and not the regular one. Definitely they are not going to ask you what is the moment of inertia of a cube, or let's say of a sphere. So there will be some kind of an arrangement where you will need to know exactly the moment of inertia of all the regular figures. Along with that, the proper application of parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. All right, and definitely you can crack that one question for your rotational. Now rotational, a lot of students kind of fear, but let me tell you, it's not very difficult. One question will be definitely there from torque, angular momentum, or conservation of angular momentum, and I have taken one question in today's session from rigid body mechanics, and I'm going to tell you a trick to solve that particular question. I mean, like, maybe you don't know anything related to, like, it is a combination of rotational and fluid mechanics. Don't know the concepts? No problem. There are techniques and strategies to even master those questions. So stick around, we will have a look at that particular question. Again, gravitation, not very difficult. It's mostly formula based, and very high importance is given to definitely one question coming from the Kepler's law. All right, and definitely the orbital velocity and the energy concept is kind of very, very important. All right, chalo, let us move ahead and let us look at the electrodynamics, which you will, like, will be doing in the 12th standard, right, students? So you should know exactly what are you in for, which are the topics which are going to be important. So you would start from the very beginning onwards rather than finishing. Like, this is the end moment where you have already finished mechanics. All right, now you would know in advance which are the topics I need to be really focused on while I'm studying that particular topic. All right, students, fine. So electrodynamics, we have got 10 questions, 40 marks, around 23%. What do we see here? Capacitance, 1 question, that is in electrostatics. Current, electricity, 2 questions. Electromagnetic field, okay, that electromagnetic induction concept, they have got typically, if you see, 4 questions. All right, electromagnetic induction, again 2 questions. Electrostatics separately, if I look at, there are like 2 questions. So the stress is here. I mean, as you would say, for magnetism, definitely the stress is high, because in magnetism, this entire section, if you see, the entire section would be basically coming here. That is this entire slot. Clear? Just a second, students. I don't know what would we do here. Okay. Now, heat and thermodynamics, again, as I told you, there are like 5 questions from this particular topic, and they are not very difficult. The distribution of the marks, if you see here, it is typically heat transfer, 1 question is going to be there, and there is a greater weightage for your KTG and thermodynamics. Students, if you have skipped that particular part of KTG and thermodynamics, my strongest advice, revisit that particular section once again. All right, students, and let me tell you, you don't need to solve maybe all the questions of H.C. Verma in order to crack that particular section. Okay, the simple thing that I would suggest is go through the theory. All right, pick up any book of NEET specifically. Aryan publication is good. Other than that, what you can do is pick up the previous year's paper and solve all the questions which are possibly there in the last 5 to 6 years. That section, 4 questions, all right, I can guarantee you it's going to be yours, because there are not many variety of questions excuse me, which are there in that particular section, so you can easily crack up that particular part. Now, moving ahead, we have optics, 5 questions, and greater weightage is there for geometrical optics as compared to your wave optics, my dear students. Okay, so here in wave optics we have typically 2 questions, and in geometrical optics you see there are like approximately 5 questions. All right, so a very important topic, definitely. And for SHM and waves, we have also included, I mean, there's a part wherein I included SHM sound waves and modern physics and electromagnetic waves and communication as well. Lately there are a lot of questions which are basically been coming from this zone out here. See, modern physics, like 30 questions, approximately 32 marks. All right, that is like 8 questions are there from your modern physics. And here electromagnetic waves and communication, typically 1 question. All right, so that part is again very scoring, my dear students. There are not many concepts, all the things are mostly formula based. Whenever we are going to do that particular part in 12th standard, we know besides electrodynamics, what is it that I need to master? All right, besides electrodynamics, we need to master our modern physics. Electrodynamics, definitely, like, you know, we see it has got a greater weightage, 23%. A lot of questions are coming. However, if you look at that entire electrodynamics part, all right, that entire window of the electrodynamics part, typically कितना टाइम लगने वाला है इसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए? If you do self study, all right, I mean, like, you know, after the syllabus has been over and you're doing revision and things like that, it typically takes you, if I give a good estimation, 20 days, 25 days is good enough to prepare for that particular section. However, these 8 questions, I can guarantee you can finish it up in a span of 1 day. So you invest 1 day, you get this 8 questions. You spend approximately 15 to 20 days after the syllabus is over, okay, or typically more also sometimes, you will be able to get those 10 questions. So you know exactly, like, you know, where you need to press harder, where you need to move strongly as compared to the other topics. Like, you know, SHM as such, my dear students, is a difficult topic for the understanding purpose. All right, waves, I wouldn't say that much. Sound waves, where we have the Doppler effect and things like that, superposition of waves, this part we can probably leave. It's just 1 question. I mean, like, you know, if you are planning even for a higher rank, all right, 1 question would not matter that much though. Okay, but if you're planning to score the 100% marks, definitely do not leave out on SHM. Clear? So moving ahead, my dear students, what do we have here? Let's see this. I have done a case study, my dear students, of a particular chapter. Now, when we have got, like, you know, all these chapters, like, you know, what exactly we should be studying in these topics, all right, we have got a clear understanding. We can get a clear understanding and an insight into it just by doing a very good analysis of what has come in the previous years. So we can actually create a trend, my dear students, and that we have done for all the chapters. So this is only specific to your laws of motion. So let us see what are the topics which are important and the frequency of their importance level. So here, if you see the impulse based problem, like, you know, simple formula that I know, F delta t is equals to change in linear momentum. Questions based on just the application of this formula, it has appeared for at least 6 to 7 times in the previous 10 years. All right, so that tells me it's a very important topic. I mean, just knowing this definitely is kind of important for you. All right, then if I look at these problems, my dear students, wherein you need to find out, let's say, the normal reaction between the 2 blocks, or let's say the string in this, the tension in the string out here between M2 and M3, or let's say the tension between M and 2M. So these questions, they all have the same methodology of solving. All right, you know that one technique to solve these kind of questions, 4 times it has appeared. So this again is an important section. All right, now moving ahead, We have this tension-based problems wherein a mass of 1 kg is, let's say, suspended by a thread. Now, if it is lifted up with an acceleration of a value of 4.9, then what is going to be the tension in the string? The second one, if I kind of look at, my dear students, there's a monkey descending from the branch, and there is like, you know, its breaking strength is 75% of the weight of the monkey. So the point is, I'm not going to solve these questions here definitely. The point is, and we have got many such ones, these tension based problems, all are the same category, same type problems, all right, and they have appeared for somewhere around 4 to 5 times that we can clearly see here in the past 10 years, all right. So we know exactly, like, you know, which are the typical problems which are being asked again and again. So definitely we should have a mastery over those topics, all right, and then we can always explore beyond the topic. Okay, there is no end to it, but we should be doing a very strategic preparation, and that is where the topper beats an average student, my dear students. That is the key, that is the goal. Clear? Chalo, let us finish it up. And if you have got a question on friction, typically the question will be including an inclined plane. So anything related to inclined plane, you should have done it. An inclined plane and there is a string going over the other end, maybe an addition to that particular thing. I mean, that is even better. All right. And finally, we have the banking part and vertical circular motion. Okay. And banking with respect to your friction and also the angle of banking taken together. So both the things are kind of important. And students, also vertical circular motion. I mean, after you kind of do your work power energy, you generally have that particular section, but I have kind of included it in your laws of motion because we involve the concepts of centripetal force and things like that. Take care. So this is the analysis of just one topic, my dear students. Okay. Similarly, we have an analysis of all the topics, even if it's say for rotational motion. I know exactly which are the sections which are more important as compared to the others. So where you actually need to stress on. Okay. And that is important. All right, students. Now, for the smart work, for which all of you must have been waiting right now, let us look at this particular question. I mean, like, you know, smart work always beats hard work. All right. That is the key to the success, whatever be it. I mean, like, you know, whatever exams, whatever topic, all right, or whatever the weightage and the percentage of weightage which is there in these examinations. Let us look at this. This question was there in 2006 and it is from rigid body mechanics, that is your rotational motion. If you just have a glance on this question, there is a tube of length L. It's filled completely with an incompressible liquid of mass M and dosed at both the ends. So it's like there's a tube here, all right, there's a tube here and it's filled up with a certain liquid, right? And then what did they do? The tube is then rotated in a horizontal plane about one of its end with a uniform angular velocity omega. And then what they do is they put the liquid in the tube and it was rotated this way. All right. Now, my dear students, they asked the force exerted by the liquid at the other end. What is going to be the force exerted by the liquid at the other end? Let's say we do not know the concepts. For once, if you know the concepts, it's well and good. Okay. What we can do is we can check the dimensions of the options given to us out here. Clear? Now, if you look at the dimensions here, you will be able to see, let me just take up a pen. You will be able to see that option A and option C are dimensionally incorrect. So there is, like, you know, very judiciously I can take them out. Option A and option C, they are not the dimensions, they will not have the dimensions of a force. So my half the task is done and it will not even take you 10 seconds to judge it. All right, students. Now between B and D, now here I need to make an intelligent guess. Now, what is an intelligent guess out here? And I will say you, it's not even a guess, it's a legitimate answer actually. Okay. See, they have told you, you have got a tube in which there is like liquid. Now, say the entire mass is m, and let me take another case wherein I attach a block and I kind of rotate it. Alright, so if you see this, there is this tube in which the liquid is there. In the second case, I have taken equal mass, alright, and shown this. Now in this case, the force that would be required will be equals to m omega square L, because all the mass is located at the end. Clear? However, in this case, there is some mass located here, there is some mass located here, there is some mass located here. That means the answer should typically be even lesser than m omega square L, because all the mass is located here. Here, not all the mass is located at the end. It is there in between as well. Alright, so definitely the answer should be less than m omega square L. In the option between B and C, what are we going to choose? Definitely option D is the right answer. And if you do this analytically, trust me students, it doesn't even take 20 seconds to solve these kind of questions. Alright, now my dear students, besides this, whenever I give a question, whenever I do a question for you, the first thing that I expect is something the students also must be doing. So here I take up the next question and I kind of want to assign it to you people. Find a smart way to solve this particular question out here. Alright, you will figure out that this question as such, it's on Kepler's law, appeared in the year 2015. It has got little complexity here and there, yes, probably, but not a very difficult problem. But even then, you can optimize on the number of steps and get the answer in like 10 seconds. My dear students, get to know that, and definitely when one is there with us and studying with us, definitely there are more such shortcuts which are going to be taught to you guys. Students, one good news is, that's what I was waiting to introduce to you, that we are starting up with a 1 year long NEET program. Alright, for the students who are going from 11th standard to the 12th standard. It is going to start on 25th of March. Lot of beautiful things incorporated into that. Okay, there will be like daily lectures throughout the entire period of time, that is till your November and December, and then this revision thing kind of starts after that. Alright, so that is one important thing. There will be like 24/7 doubt solving features. A lot of you must be already aware of the Vedantu doubt app. If you are not aware, go download it today itself. Alright students, now to know more and more things about this course, let me tell you, I would suggest that you kind of go to this link, alright, and click on this link and get to know everything that you want to know about the course. I hope students you enjoyed today's webinar and you learned something definitely towards the end, like when we were talking about that problem, and we were also set where we need to stress on, where we need, or where we can just go a little loose, and places that you need to be stable. Again, the summary of the entire thing: 11th standard lesser weightage, 12th standard greater weightage. Alright students, and in 11th standard the maximum weightage is for mechanics. So if you think that your mechanics was not done well, I have also told you the subtopics in mechanics which are supposed to be done well. So remember that window of mechanics, finish it up as you're preparing for your what do we call it, the school examinations. Do it well and switch on to the 12th standard with a fresh mind. Alright, and also the key thing that I told you, 1 day modern physics, 8 questions, 3 days thermodynamics, again 5 to 6 questions. So overall, if I have to put my bet on all the topics out here, I will choose mechanics, electrodynamics, modern physics, alright, and thermodynamics. Clear? So this is going to fetch me a lot of marks in my examination. Must do, my dear students. Thank you very much. God bless you, and take care, and see you soon at Vedantu students. Bye bye.